Hi, I'm Malcolm Warner, the Executive Director of Laguna Art Museum. Welcome to our 8th annual Art and Nature celebration. Yesterday, you might have heard our keynote speaker, Dan Goods, deliver that brilliant speech on his work at NASA's Jet Propulsion Laboratory and his work with using art to make science exciting for the public. Tomorrow, as part of Art and Nature, we'll be presenting our family festival. That's online, as so much of our programming has been this year. So please tune into our website for that, for all the activities that we've contrived for exploring ways in which art and nature and science can interact. And that's activities for all ages. Well, each year the museum commissions a centerpiece for Art and Nature, a great outdoor, large-scale work of art. And of course, this is it. Sunset Trace by Patrick Shearn and his team from Poetic Kinetics. It's probably the most spectacular piece that we've presented so far, this incredible, shimmering, undulating, floating ribbon of color all along the top of the cliffs just off Main Beach. To be viewed, by the way, from up here, but also it's great to look at it from down on the beach. So thank you to Patrick and his team, collectively known as Poetic Kinetics, for pulling off this fantastic achievement. It's an ambitious project, and the museum needs all the support it can get to fund it. And we're delighted this year to have received a generous grant from the city of Laguna Beach. Thank you especially to Sean Poschel. Thanks also to the private donors who have stuck by us year after year with Art and Nature and helping us to make it better and better and more expansive every year. But most of all, thank you to our artist, Patrick Shearn and his team, Poetic Kinetics, for your joyful creativity and thank goodness the tremendous professionalism with which you carry through your projects. You are both poetical and kinetic, so you live up to your name. Now, Patrick Shearn took a very unusual route to where he is now. For 30 years he worked in the film industry, and he's an expert on animatronics, robotics and visual effects. And what a brilliant career shift for him to have used all the knowledge and experience gained from that film career to become the creator of great works of art like this. He has become one of the most sought after artists in this field, both nationally and internationally. It's been an honor and a privilege and a pleasure to work with him for us at the museum, and it's my great pleasure now to introduce him, Patrick Shearn.
Hello, my name is Patrick Shearn. I'm an artist here in Los Angeles, California, and I have a studio, Poetic Kinetics, in downtown Los Angeles. I've been invited to participate in the Art and Nature Festival by the Laguna Art Museum. I'm super thrilled and excited to be able to bring this piece, Sunset Trace, to Laguna Beach. It's been a long time in the making. You know, with COVID and everything, it's been sort of this ongoing long-term process to sort of figure out how to present artwork in a COVID safe way. And we're really fortunate to be able to present something to you that accomplishes that, you know. And so in the very first days, we got this amazing call to come in and install a piece of artwork in one of the most beautiful places I've ever been. It's just so perfectly photogenic and so perfectly set up for these Skynets that I've been doing, you know, in the last few years. So we came to Laguna Beach, and we've been installing down on the pathway here in Heisler Park for about 6 or 7 days. And you know, I'm sure some people, I know many of you I've met on this journey repeatedly, have come by and checked our progress, and I've had phenomenal conversations with so many people here. And like I say, the city's been really, really welcoming. You know, oftentimes it's really challenging to sort of navigate big art in a public space, but the city of Laguna has been phenomenal. And I just have to throw out a lot of gratitude and props to the Laguna Art Museum. Malcolm and Marinta, in particular, Sean came out and helped. He's in quite a few of these images. And the process was challenging, like I said, in the face of COVID. We had to deal with having to find people that could climb palm trees, which is unusual to start with, but we found ones that would climb without spikes. And so we have this opportunity to put this piece in up in the palm trees, suspended above the walkway. It's like 650 feet long. You can see here it's on the ground before we lifted it up. We have people working in the trees, setting anchors and everything. And fortunately, we had a very low wind during the setup, but we have a lot of wind coming up. So here's a little bit of the process. I thought I would just sort of give you a little behind the scenes thing. So we first begin, I start looking at Google Earth. And so this is Google Earth of the installation period or location. You have the Art Museum front and center, and then the Laguna Beach Inn and the Las Brisas restaurant there. So I start working with color and placement. I'm looking at, where are the trees? How can we get through the spaces? I have a phenomenal CAD team, computer-aided design team that modeled in everything. We built the hotel and the pathway and the elevations and sort of put it all into the computer, figured out where all of these rigging points were going to go, designed the model, and then we turned it into engineering. So it goes through a full engineering analysis. This particular image shows us what would happen, where the stresses would load up if it got direct upward wind placement. And then from there, once we get all that stuff sorted out, we start specifying where the ropes are going to go and how they're all going to be connected and what the force loads are going to be and all that kind of stuff. And that becomes, sort of technical. All the lengths are determined, all the thicknesses are determined. This then sort of, it's the collision between the ropes and the color. So I work at a pixel specific color. So every pixel is a streamer. And so here you can got to get a sense of how these things are all placed, how it all works, and how it's all tied together. We do a phenomenal amount of pre-planning and pre-work before we ever show up on site. And then just sort of like a little history of the series. This is the first piece I did downtown Pershing Square in Los Angeles. Notably, this is interesting. I had made this piece, the material itself I had fabricated and had standing by. And then we went to the park specifically and asked if we could put in a temporary piece of artwork. They said yes. And so we put in this piece one day at sunset and finished by dawn the next morning. And this is what all of the people in the office buildings showed up to. So Liquid Shard, this first one was 17,000 square feet of surface area, and the entire piece, rigging, rope, everything came in at around 250 pounds, which allows it that ultra lightweight, ultra responsive wind performance. So sort of moving in this direction, I've done a bunch of work on fishing boats, so I was very familiar with the netting itself. And then I had a bunch of this material donated to me. And from there, it just took off. So this is just a short overview of the series that I've been working on, of which Sunset Trace is the last one, the latest one. So one of the things that inspired me, to do these things in the first place was this sensation of awe and wonder that I feel when I first saw the murmuration of starlings in the sky, or giant schools of fish in the ocean, the way they all move together simultaneously. It just sort of opens up my chest, and I have this experience of wonder and awe, the sense that there's something happening that's much bigger than myself, that I really can't understand, but that I really want to understand. And so I wanted to be able to create that same sensation in the viewers of my work. So the first piece we did, Liquid Shard, blew up on the internet. Had a phenomenal social media response. And then this piece right here, Firebird Descent, was the second piece we did. It had always been in my bucket list to do a piece that you could see from space. And here is a Google Earth image of the Firebird Descent in the New Holland island inside of St. Petersburg, Russia. It's kind of a fun little side note. This one here, Reflection Rising, was in Scottsdale, Arizona. This was, it got a Americans for the Arts Public Art Network Outstanding Public Artwork Award. This one was like 900 feet long. You saw some footage of this one in the previous sort of video that showed the phenomenal vertical displacement, and so what's going on in all of these is I'm looking at the wind. We do a careful wind analysis of everything in the location, historical wind, and what we can expect, what directions and what velocities based on the time of year. And so we try to design the rigging so that we will be able to get as much dynamic motion as possible, so that the thing will dance in the sky as much as possible. And then we use this tech fiber Dyneema rope that is super, super ultra lightweight. And it allows us to sort of isolate the artwork in space from the rigging surrounding it. So you really lose the sense of what's holding the piece up in the air. And that gives us the freedom to sort of create with wind and color and motion as sort of the palette of the work. The Dyneema rope is super strong. It's much stronger than steel with the same dimensions, and it floats on water, and it doesn't absorb water. And it's a phenomenal material to work with. It really gives us the freedom to sort of create these big shapes and surfaces that dance in the wind. And we rig them in such a way that they shed wind, they play in the wind, they're not turning into giant sails. So that brings me now to Visions of Motion, which was the last piece we did last November in Berlin. And these pieces have all been beautiful, and I'm really proud of the work. But this piece in particular, Visions of Motion, was extraordinary in that we were invited by the Berlin, I'm spacing out the name, Culture Project. Sorry. Culture Project invited us. They're a nonprofit based out of Berlin that's responsible for designing and executing the entire festival surrounding the celebrations of the Berlin Wall. And so in this particular one, we collected 35 to 40,000 individually handwritten streamers that would be attached to this installation, all sort of addressing how do you feel about walls being built, walls coming down, people being separated, that kind of thing. And it was really extraordinary in that we were able to bring this piece down just overhead. And for days at a time, hundreds of thousands of people were able to walk underneath this piece, read the messages that had been submitted, and write their own messages. And as an artist, it was really transformative. I met people from probably 40 different countries, heard their stories, families being separated, parents being separated from children, people that remember the time. It created this atmosphere underneath the piece where you could come in and read all these messages and and had these experiences with people. Music was playing, but then people were weeping. It was really transformative as an artist, and I felt really compelled to sort of see where this direction could go. And so coming back to the States and sort of thinking about things towards the end of last year, myself and my studio decided to do this piece initially to address COVID specifically. And then that expanded when the Black Lives Matter protests were happening. Everything that's happening right now just feels so charged and so important to this country. In general, I felt like we needed to do something to sort of address this time and collect the thoughts and feelings and concerns and issues, and also the solutions for how do we solve the problems we're being confronted with right now. So we decided to do this piece. This is Change in the Air, and we're collecting messages to be able to create a giant piece. Ultimately, we want to display it on the National Mall. Hello, I'm Patrick Shearn, artist at Poetic Kinetics. I'm speaking to you from self-isolation in Los Angeles, California. Our studio is known for making large-scale, impactful art displayed worldwide, and we're motivated by art's ability to transform individuals and society. In this difficult time, we have the opportunity to remember what's important to us and to commit to fighting for it. And we want to harness this energy and invite you to join us in creating a piece of art from the safety of your own home. We all miss the way we once were, but we're never going to be able to get back to the way it was, even if we wanted to. This pandemic has revealed the shortcomings in our systems and how fragile our social fabric is and how divided. At the end of last year, we created a piece called Visions and Emotions, celebrating the 30th anniversary of the fall of the Berlin Wall. And we collected 40,000 handwritten individual messages from people all over the world that we incorporated into this 20,000 square foot piece of art that we floated above hundreds of thousands of people at the Brandenburg Gate during the celebration. As an artist, it was transformative and humbling to be able to give voice to so many people in such a joyous way. Now I want to do something on an even grander scale. So here's the plan. We are creating a piece called Change in the Air, made up of messages of hope, action, and solutions. Submit your messages through changeintheair.org or share on your social media and tag Poetic Kinetics. And our team will handwrite your message onto a streamer and incorporate them into the overall art piece, and invite your friends and family to participate. Through the website, you'll also have the opportunity to send that message directly to your congressional representative. The final art piece will be displayed in Washington, D.C., and each individual message increases the size and impact of the overall piece, and how large it actually gets is directly up to you. Your participation gives voice to this moment in time, and a chorus of voices is far stronger than an individual voice alone. With your help, we will create a visual display that shows how powerful we are when we stand together and the future that we want to create. Because now and forever, we are in this together. So please join us. Stay safe, peace, and thank you. So that's where we are right now. I'm really excited about this particular piece. It's the first opportunity to do something that is sourced from the studio rather than somebody calling us to do something for their installation or their location. It's really exciting to sort of feel like we might be able to help bridge the divide that this country feels. I'm moved reading all the messages that we've collected realizing that we're all the same, realizing that our desires and our needs are the same, that that we all ultimately want the same things, and I really feel like the divide that separates us has been put upon us. It's a fabricated thing. It's a social media algorithm, and it's not really there when you're just interacting with a human being. And so when we have this opportunity to read what each other have read, be with each other while we're reading it, write our own messages simultaneously in these environments that we want to create while we're building this piece, Change in the Air, I really feel like we have an opportunity and an ability to erase some of these divides, to have on a grassroots level, on a human level, the ability to connect and realize that we're all the same, and sort of question the division that we've been presented with, the fears that we've been operating with. And so I really hope that everyone can take some time, fill out a message, track the progress of the project, participate if you can, and join us in making something that can hopefully make the world a little bit better place. I'm really excited about people coming up with solutions to these problems that we're presented with. I think that's really as an artist what I would like to try to do with this series is to sort of step off and allow a collaboration with the public to make the world a better place for all of us, because we're in this together for now and forever. So with Change in the Air, we've been collecting messages in all kinds of fun ways. We've been doing live stream events where people are calling in, texting in, and I've been taking live message collection on the internet. That's been really fun. We also created this chalkboard mural that allowed people to walk by and fill in the prompts with chalk. We went by every single day, took photographs of them, collected all the messages, and then came by and washed the surface and collected messages every day. You can see here I made a chalk dispensing, single-use, COVID-safe chalk dispensing machine here. This was really fun. It was an opportunity for, people that are out of their house to sort of contribute and have fun with it. And then the messages, like I was saying before, are really profound and really, really uniting, really like hopeful, encouraging, and very positive. It makes me feel like we're doing the right thing with the art. Like I said, this has been a really, really rewarding process. The whole series has been really, it's allowed me to travel the world. It's allowed me to meet people all over the world, and to be in some of the most beautiful places in the world. And Laguna Beach is definitely one of them. I think you can clearly see that from all this information, footage, and stuff. I do want to thank Malcolm Marinta from the Laguna Art Museum. They've just been such phenomenal hosts. It's been, a challenge in COVID to pull this off, but I'm incredibly proud of the work. I'm really, really grateful for the opportunity, and I want to thank the city of Laguna Beach, and Shearn was phenomenal. Thank you all for this wonderful opportunity, and please go to changeintheair.org and leave a message, and I will personally handwrite your messages. Thank you so much.